Sola, it's great to see you. And you were telling me something really important about this remarkable album. Tell me again.
So I was trying to say that this album is not just about music.
Exactly.
It's a vehicle of inquiry and exploration, self-inquiry of what am I? What can I actually do? What can I bring into the space? And how do I affect the space through what I do? Sound. So it, I'm really noticing that
Hmm.
since the album has been finished and has been released, and then all of these other structures that need to be in place, need to be in place in order for us to get from A to B. So it's a navigation tool.
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
It's a navigation tool. And then I'm noticing, okay, what needs to be stronger
Hmm.
in relation to me and relation to everybody else that's involved in the project to help us move through the trickier terrain, the
Hmm.
choppy terrain. I mean, let's carry on with the ship and the kind of Odyssey type idea of the music. That okay, Odysseus, he hit moments all the time, and he had to re-engage. He had to remake himself. He had to change his understanding of each situation.
Hmm.
I mean, I was a classic student, so I love the Greek thing. Or
Yeah,
I
yeah,
tell
yeah.
people, okay, the Argonauts, Jason and the Argonauts. Jason had to put together the best Greek warriors and heroes to man this Argonaut to go and get the golden fleece. You don't have useless people doing that. You
Okay,
use
however, you're saying you're already touching a lot. And I've known you a long time and I've witnessed and we've shared a lot about the depth of your journey and my journey.
yes.
And we're here, we're going to talk about sound and music. So I want to bring you back to the core of what you said.
Mm,
This music you've created, and I've witnessed your journey, and we've talked deeply about it. It's much more than just music. So what is it? Let's start with that. What is it, Shola? It's your whole Yoruba
yes, it's
ancestry.
it's
It's the
sound.
power of, go on.
Yeah, it's the sound of a feeling that
Mm.
I'm trying to engage.
Okay, let's go really slow because these are deep words. The sound
Of a
of a
feeling
feeling. Say more.
that I've been constantly trying to engage and understand. And sometimes you need to just try and reproduce what we think, I mean, as creatives, what we think the feeling is. And then when we reproduce it, either as a piece of work, as a song, or as a sculpture, or as a book, or in a play, during the process, we're not sure what's happening,
Mm.
but we know when it doesn't feel right.
Yeah, okay. So it's like you're following a thread. So tell me more about the contours of the feeling
Mm,
as you know it. Tell me, speak from that feeling. What is that feeling that you're so devoted to unfolding and you research so deeply?
mm. I think the core of it, Nicholas, relates to my relationship to my mother,
Okay.
or that non-relationship, or that it was very difficult for me to engage my mother. I think we've spoken about it. My mother suffered from schizophrenia.
Yeah.
So on a day-to-day basis, my emotional space with her was very unclear.
Mm.
And when I listen occasionally to the album, I can hear me trying to question that feeling
Mm.
with through the sound. And
Mm,
There's a whole thing about you see, remember my first album was called Roots to Roots, and
mm,
I said that in the first album that this was me trying to explore something that was missing for myself and probably for my siblings emotionally through the idea of what the Yorubas mean by the child.
mm,
You see? So I was using Roots to Roots to speak to my Yoruba ancestry, and I was trying to go beyond the experience of my parents as almost as a desperate question of what does being a child actually mean? Because within my home,
mm,
it didn't feel right. So I had to go past my parents. I had to go to my grandparents on
mm,
both sides to explore what they meant by omoluabi, the good child, the special child, the intelligent child, the child that we need to pet, the child that we need to embrace, the child that we need to support. All of these interesting ideas that are very deep in Yoruba philosophical thought. But of course, I didn't feel that.
yeah, right, right.
So this is what so it brings us back to what we're talking about. I'm trying to find that feeling.
It's might we say, in a sense, it's like you're looking for home.
It's looking for home, or looking for that seat. Because it's
Yeah,
interesting you say that because,
yeah,
as you know, I've been a touring musician for a very long time, so
right.
I've been everywhere. And I,
It's,
I realized through touring with Jamiroquai over the last 27 years that actually that seat that we're looking for, that idea of home, isn't a place.
no,
It's
no, no.
space.
It's an inner place.
The space.
But I want to bring in another. It's really, thank you so much for what you're sharing. Because there are many things we have in common actually as well, although it might not seem obvious. But um, like one of the things we've spoken about a lot is the fact that you sit between this extraordinary cultural heritage in Nigeria and the modern white Western world.
Mm.
And that's, I think, been a long, still an ongoing journey for you. Even in the music, you're
Yes.
trying to marry the two.
Yes.
The new album is incredible for
Thank
many reasons. One of them is that the music contains this marriage.
you.
So I was just remembering, and I wrote about this recently. As you know, I spent 6 months in Africa, and
Yes.
in a total immersion of learning djembe
Mm.
day after day at marriages, baptisms, where I was the only white person
Mm.
playing with my
Mm.
master.
Mm.
And I remember vividly, Shola, when I came back to London, I literally was walking around London with my djembe over my shoulder, completely lost.
Mm.
I can even remember thinking, who am I?
Mm. Mm.
How do I marry? It's very different. I'm coming from the other end to you.
Yes.
How
Yes.
do I marry this unbelievable full immersion I've had? And now I can play the djembe. Do
Mm.
I marry that with being a white man in this world I grew up in?
Mm.
And it
So,
was really troubling
so the question then would be, what was the experience in the 6 months in Ivory Coast, and what did that feel like? That then meant that when you came back to the West, your perspective has changed.
because I gave myself to it completely.
Mm.
And
Immersed yourself
I
completely
immersed
in that
myself
experience.
completely.
Mm.
Musically, I lived with him and his
Mm.
family.
Mm.
I lived their lifestyle, which included no running water and cooking
Mm.
over the fire and eating their food.
Mm.
And then at these incredible events, there'd be 50 to 100 women. We'd
Mm.
be the only two men. I was obviously the only white person there.
Mm. Mm.
And they were singing and dancing, and I was the metronome for him. One
Hmm.
by one, the women would come in front of him and he would go into crazy improvisation and they would go into semi-trance following his drumming. And then they'd go back and this could go on for 3 hours.
Hmm.
And not only did I have to be a metronome, if I varied that much, he'd look at me like that.
Exactly. Exactly. Exactly.
So it was a musical, cultural, sometimes afterwards, because my hands would bleed.
Right. So
3 hours. I remember to this day, women came up to me, held my hands, and cried.
Hmm. Oh, deeply visceral.
6 months of that, and I'm walking, in streets of London, like, what?
Hmm.
Couldn't find for a while. I couldn't find
Sure.
who was I?
Right. Right.
I
So
know I'm white, but I've just been living in this other
right.
world.
So then the question then, or the question that's coming up for me is that what was the understanding of whiteness for you when you were in Ivory Coast? Or what was it? What was the feeling? So
That's an
what,
interesting question. You see, I had to consciously suppress some of my whiteness. Like
hmm,
he tested me. Like it would be hot, noon, and he would say, reskin this drum for me.
hmm,
That was a 2 3 hour you literally
absolutely.
sewed,
Typical, like, yeah, yeah.
and I knew I couldn't say no. I knew that if I said no, I'm tired now, he would lost respect for me.
Hmm,
So I actually kind of, in one way, had to blend
hmm, hmm,
differently.
hmm,
I had no problem doing that. It was like, I'm with the master. I want your teaching.
hmm,
To a
hmm,
certain level, I'll do whatever it takes.
hmm, hmm, hmm,
So it's a long time ago. It's an interesting question.
hmm,
I hardly saw any other white people.
hmm.
My girlfriend came for a bit.
Yeah,
She was studying the dancing.
right.
Anyway,
But
but let's come back to how, because I know that, I mean, I said that as part of our dialogue about
yes,
this finding home. And I also know, because you've been speaking to me recently, that you're working with sound in a very particular way.
yeah,
I mean, just go where you want with this,
yeah,
because I have a lot to say as well. So let's
no,
find our points of
yeah,
dialogue.
yeah. Again, like I said at the beginning,
Mm,
the project, the album has been a vehicle for inquiry, for me to ask questions.
yeah, beautiful.
So I start with the idea of sound because actually pre-language, that is the first one of the first forces of influence.
In the womb, imagine where
Womb,
in the
in the
heart.
womb, we can't speak. I don't know ah, I don't know D, I don't know cup, I don't know. I just know there's
And
this
we have this rhythm going
exactly
24/7.
in the womb. So there's a sonic
Mm,
characteristic going on there. And then I love this idea. I was talking to somebody the other day, and he was talking to me about Heidegger, being and time, and the German philosopher, and his idea of being thrown into the world. Now, in Yoruba philosophy, there's a system that is called Ifa. It contains philosophy, but it's not philosophy. It contains religion, but it's not religion. It contains mathematics, but it is not mathematics. It contains
mm,
culture, but it's not culture. This is the fundamental system through which Yorubas, pre-colonialism, understood how to be in the world.
beautiful.
And the Yorubas totally understand the idea of being cast into the world because in Ifa, when a child is born, you have to go and see a babalawo, which is the fathers of the secrets, who will cast Ikin, which is similar to the Chinese I Ching, to tell us what belongs to the child.
Wow.
The child is bringing. Listen to that. So the responsibility of the parent is to pay deep attention to what has been cast, or in Heidegger's world, thrown into the world, from whence we do not know.
Mm. But
So
we arrive with a whole
yeah,
something.
yeah. So the Yorubas created a system, a binary system that's incredibly modern, actually, because we're
Mm.
talking about AI and computational theory, which the Yorubas understood thousands of years ago through
Right.
something that we would call, as primitive or is divine.
Yeah,
Mm, mm, mm,
of
mm, mm,
course, of
mm, mm, mm.
course.
It's a highly sophisticated
Yeah,
system
yeah, yeah.
of understanding being in the world and what we need to be in the world.
Right.
So let's go back to our idea of sound.
Yeah,
That sound, sonic waves, wave-like information and effect on the space in which we move. This is something much more.
much, much
The
more.
idea of language has been constructed out of how the sound makes us feel.
Mm.
Child responds to the sound of our voice,
Mm. Absolutely. Yeah. The vibration.
the
It's
vibration.
the vibration. And we've got so disconnected, we're utterly cut from that. We've divorced speaking from real vibration.
From real
We use speaking to communicate data,
data.
even about our emotions. It's data.
Mm.
No, no, no. Speaking from our body, first of
Mm,
all,
mm,
from our heart,
mm.
has a transmission. This is
Yeah,
what we're talking about.
yeah, exactly.
Because
Exactly.
the sound carries much, much more than the
Exactly.
word.
Yeah, exactly. So at some point, and again, it takes us back to the album, Nicholas. I'm trying. We're at the point now where we're trying to shed. There's a lot of talk now around psychotherapy and well-being.
Yeah.
Everybody's now aware that we're trying to shed the imposition, what's been kind of showered upon us through other people's experience,
Mm.
in order to then find our own voice.
Mm.
So even the
Good.
idea of our own voice is
Yeah,
just problematic, because
of course.
the possibility that when we speak, we're speaking in multiple voices.
Yeah, and also because most of us, as you already alluded to in your family, and I know from mine, in our first years of life, or even not just our first years, our voice was not celebrated.
Exactly.
Whether that was when I was very emotional and it wasn't welcome, or when
Exactly.
I shared, ideas and wait, what? I mean,
Mm.
there's incredible research with children who
Yes.
remember their past lives
Yes.
naturally.
Mm.
But was that welcomed? No, no. So our voice from the very beginning was often compromised.
As soon as
We learned to fit in. We
yes,
had to fit in.
yes.
So we already started to live in a way that was not fully aligned.
With how we arrived.
Oh, actually, we left home. That's why my current program is called Returning from Exile,
Yeah.
because we, from a very early age, went into some kind of exile.
Mm. Hmm.
But what's really profound for me in your work, amongst many things, is that you're using sound, drum, rhythm, texture of sound. It's almost like a call to come back home, right?
Exactly.
Starting from your own journey.
And you know,
Obviously, it has to.
exactly. And you know what's really interesting, Nicholas, is that you're now reminding me of my late brother's funeral. I'll never
Mm.
forget. I think I might have told you that my father got up to speak, and he said something so beautiful. He said, Shegun, That was my brother that passed in 2019. He said, Shegun, whatever they offer you to eat where you're going, eat it.
Mm.
Whatever they offer you to drink it.
Wow.
You know. So again, the idea of home. My dad was letting the spirit of my brother know that you're returning home, so you're safe. I mean, it moved to the core. I'd never heard my father speak like that.
No, I know. Yeah.
First, and then he opened it. He explained it to people, and I was, wow.
Wow. Wow. You know what I'm remembering, once when you told me that, because I know your father was not open to you as your whole path of music.
Yeah.
But you told me once he came to a Jamiroquai concert. This I find so moving.
Mm.
And you were featured on the big screen in a solo, and he saw your hands. I got shivers now.
Yeah.
And afterwards, what did he say to you afterwards?
He apologized to me. It was amazing. He was in tears. We were backstage, and my father's not an emotional man. And I was terrified that, Dad, what happened? Are you okay? He said, Shola, I owe you an apology. I said, what do you mean? He said, when you were on stage there, I could see that you are directly from my mother's people. Your hands reminded me of my uncles. The way you stand was like my uncle. The way you sang was like my mother. So I owe you the deepest apology that you have now found your way back in order to come forward. So,
Yeah.
and then from ever since that day, oh, my father's completely came on board with what I was doing. That then he started to open up to me about his own experience growing up
Wow.
in Yoruba land. That my grandfather was the head of the death cult. My grandmother were the head of the Egungun people. They were the people that hold ancestral knowledge. Shola, you've fallen into that because I never told you that. So how the hell did you find that? I tried to keep.
Well, I mean, that's incredible on so many levels. Just to consider that, I don't know how old you were at that point, but you'd lived 30 plus years
Around that exactly.
without being recognized. So
Yeah.
no wonder you had to find your way home. So
Searching.
saying, if he'd seen that in you from a young age, your whole life would have been different. But that's okay because
That's
that's
exactly.
also in the plan.
Exactly. Exactly.
Your elder in Nigeria would have seen that. Wow. Wow.
Exactly. Yeah. Yeah.
But I guess that was quite life-changing for you.
Oh, it was huge, Nicholas. It was huge because, as you said, up until that point, my father was totally dismissive about the fact that I was wanting to be a musician. He used to say, "Musicians are beggars in Yoruba land. Children. Musicians are beggars."
And
So
this was coming from his own trauma.
exactly.
100%. We talked about that.
So what? So
His
you're
journey of coming to England, a little bit like me in reverse. Who am I in England?
exactly
Isn't it interesting?
very, very
I
true.
know you've talked to me in depth about his journey and how troubled he was,
Yeah.
and that he ended up in this low job.
Yes.
His family were expecting him to be a big figure. I
Big
mean,
thing.
the pain he was carrying
Exactly.
of not finding his new. Wow, so many themes here.
Mm.
And tell me, I want to talk about, because you told me last time we met, I think, about this whole new project you were developing around sound and around how sound serves people exactly when they're displaced. Do you remember?
Yes, that's to do with the documentary
Yes.
that
Yeah.
we're working on, which is
Yeah.
yeah
Tell me about that.
to try and we want to explore the idea that the sound traveled through the transatlantic, the Middle Passage, and the trauma. We're thinking the trauma that was experienced by those peoples and how they were able to survive the trauma and
Mm.
transform the trauma into something almost I mean, I will use it, magical and powerful.
Mm.
But we today are all benefiting from
Mm.
jazz to rock to rhythm and blues to hip hop. So the transformative power
Wow.
of sound and also the power to resist through sound
Wow.
and to
Okay.
reinstate and recalibrate yourself through sound. So yeah,
Wow.
that's what we're trying to explore with this documentary that we're
This
working.
also reminds me of, we both know Michelle, an African American chief executive, and we have very deep
Mm.
conversations. And she was telling me once that all the singing in the cotton fields was not just singing.
No,
This was maintaining a culture and building a resilience,
exactly.
the resource in the
So,
middle of intolerable
yeah,
circumstances. So
yes,
that's connected with what you're saying.
absolutely, absolutely, absolutely.
So it's like sound, it's like it knits together on a soul level, on a nervous system level.
Mm,
It's like a reweaving of something that got broken, right?
exactly. And also creating a safe space,
Yes. Yeah.
almost a kind of invisible field of protection.
Right.
And also, and of course, with the feeling of it, it was a way for them to actually be totally in touch with how their experience made them feel.
Exactly. Yeah.
Those people were absolutely aligned.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah, this feeling is this feeling is that, and so this sound that we're creating is a representation of that. And actually, as a sound,
Mm.
it crosses all boundaries, and then it can become more than just a sound that makes people feel. It's a sound. It's a call to arms.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. On a visceral
On a
level.
visceral level, it's like, well, who else could be feeling like this?
Mm.
And that's why in the video that I've done at the moment for one of the songs on the album called Olukumi, which means my friend, I say I'm calling out through sound the others that can feel the sound, respond to me.
Wow.
That's what the song is saying. So we're calling out the descendants of that traumatic experience that was then turned from trauma into power, into resistance, into change, and into creativity. I'm calling it out.
Wow. Wow. Shola, would you just speak or sing for a moment the Yoruba words of that song?
Of that song. So it says it is Mo fẹ́ kí gbogbo ọmọ Ọ̀yọ́ ní Matanzas. Mo fẹ́ kí gbogbo ọmọ àlùbátà ní Matanzas. Ọmọ Ọ̀yọ́ ni wọ́n. Ọmọ Ọ̀yọ́ ni wọ́n. Wọ́n sọ fún mi pé Ògún ni bàbá. So what I'm saying is I'm calling out the people who say they trace their descendants to the people of Oyo in Yoruba land. I'm calling them out. They're in Matanzas, Cuba. I'm calling out the Bata drummers in Cuba who say that they trace their lineage to the Oyo peoples of the Yorubas. Ọmọ Ọ̀yọ́ ni wọ́n, ọmọ. And then they said to me, Ogun is my father. Ogun in Yoruba cosmology is the god of iron, war, and more importantly, transformation.
Mm.
So those people on that middle passage recognized as well that they were going through a deeply traumatic yet
Yes.
transformational
Yes.
process. The deep tragedy and sadness is that it wasn't something that was done through their own volition.
Yeah. Yeah.
That's a whole nother problematic question that, well, what was that? Of course, we've got the power politically
Mm.
behind it, but then when we look at it kind of in retrospect, it's moved, it
Yeah.
changed the space with that trauma. So it's very, very
Yeah.
interesting. We've got to kind of double-edged sword behind trauma, that the trauma can then transform something
Transform.
else.
I just want to say, I mean, thank you. It's so powerful when you sing like that. That in a way you're also, it's a call to come home.
It's a call.
I mean, really,
It's a
you're
call.
calling all those communities not to come home to a place,
Oh, thank you, Nicholas.
to come home to this line.
Fine. Exactly. Exactly.
Wow.
Exactly. Exactly. And
Yeah.
then again, let's go back to our sound. This line is in sound.
It's what?
It's in sound.
Yeah. Right. In vibration.
An aspect
In
of it is in sound.
vibration. Yeah. So in the listening to it, my whole system goes through a process. It's
Exactly.
way beyond my thinking. It's way beyond my thinking.
Exactly. And it's making me also think about what you were experiencing in Ivory Coast, Nicholas, in terms of having to be the metronome, the sonic point
Mm,
that sets that transformation of time and space. That's what he was doing there. Don't move.
yeah, exactly.
We've opened.
Yeah, that's why when I hear a great band now, I'm
Yeah.
listening to often to the bass and the drum. Okay, I get it. If you're really, we thought, you listen to Zawanal or that,
Right.
we call it tight.
Right. That pocket.
But actually, tight means I'm holding a huge space.
Holding a huge
And if that is not, nothing can fly, right? Nothing can fly.
we can't fly.
It's extraordinary combination of maths
Yes.
and freedom.
Freedom.
And that is misunderstood.
Yeah.
Unless you master the maths of that, there is no freedom.
Exactly. There's a precision. There's a sonic precision that is absolutely uncompromised.
Yeah. Yeah.
Without it, we cannot move.
Yeah. And by the way, it's amazing because when I'm teaching transformational coaching, I'm all the time talking about that precision.
Mm.
Like when you're working with someone, and because of the work we do, you feel them totally. And then you find the language that is ultra precise and that helps them connect with their experience.
Absolutely.
It's not approximate.
Absolutely.
This is also the higher power of language.
Yes.
Because we use language in a way that's so lazy.
Yes.
People talk and you're like, what do you mean?
What do you mean?
What do you mean? You're using all these words. What do you mean? And sometimes I ask someone, no, that word, what do you mean? And they start telling me, and it's like, well, that's not what that word is. We're so lazy with language. But when we use language with real precision, it's I call it an acupuncture needle. Because it goes right into the core of the person's experience and calls them home.
Yeah.
What is home? In one way, it's becoming one with our deep experience, separated from it.
Exactly.
One of my great teachers, Thomas Hubel, used to say, precision is love. It's a beautiful sentence.
Wow. Precision is love.
Yeah, and that's true in the music. It's
absolutely
across the board.
Absolutely.
And that's why you and I revere Bach.
Yes.
I was listening to an interview with Sting the other day.
Yes.
It's an amazing interview about his creative process. He and his guitarist were talking. And Dominic Miller, because we just saw them in Rome. It was phenomenal. And he said, our master is Bach. Every day they play Bach. Every day. You will not get more precision.
You won't get more precision than that.
Harmonically, rhythmically.
It's so funny, Nicholas, that you mentioned.
And through that, it's transcendent. I know you're studying classical piano as well.
But the truth, taking that back to drumming.
Yeah. Yeah.
the precision of your everyday practice, whether it's on the djembe fala, whether it's on the bata, whether it's on the congas, whether it's on the sakara, whether it's on the kit or the timbales, whatever it is, your hands will not lie.
Right, right,
Your hands will tell the truth. So
right.
I always say to people that before, when somebody comes to me or somebody says to me, yeah, I play congas, I'll say, okay, put your hands on the drum. Don't play, just put your
Yeah.
hands on the drum. From the way he or she puts their hand on the drum, I can tell whether they
Wow.
can play.
Right,
We don't
right.
need to play a note. We don't need to play a
That's
note. I
amazing.
can see from your hands whether we have applied that time and consistency and precision towards the sound of the conga or the djembe or the bata.
Mm,
If we don't, if our hands have not been forged appropriately, the drum will not speak.
exactly.
Or if it
Wow.
does, it will speak in a very flabby way, like you said,
Right,
in a way that's very unclear and not very
right.
precise. Yeah, because your hands are not true.
Wow. Beautiful.
So this is why, and again with Bach, the application, as Sting was saying, that they play Bach every single day.
Yeah.
Bach will forge his hands, their hands, and he will forge your ears.
Mm,
I open your ears to other sonic and harmonic possibilities
true precision.
through precision of approach. So the other thing now that I'm telling my students is play slowly,
Ah,
not fast.
okay.
40 BPMs should be the metronome when you
Wow.
practice. 40, because at that tempo,
Mm.
you feel your physical relationship to space and time through your relationship to the object.
And everything is revealed
And
about when
everything
you're
is
off
revealed.
this. Yeah.
Everything.
Yeah.
That this is where you are.
Mm.
Not speed, not to
Yeah.
speak quickly, not to speak, dazzlingly, not to impress. No, to
Yeah.
absolutely be slow. It was Miles. Miles did that. Miles
Mm.
did that
Mm.
for Herbie and Wayne Shorter and Tony Williams when they first got the gig with him. It's in the biography. And they went downstairs in the basement to play. They thought they were going to play Donna Lee at 100 miles an hour. Miles said, no, we're going to play Autumn Leaves at 40 BPMs in a waltz.
Wow. I
It's
didn't
really
know
difficult.
that. Yeah. Right. Yeah. Yeah.
Play that slowly.
Yeah.
Be absolutely clear that every note has to be right. Every,
Good.
every silence has to be right. The legato has to be right. You feel it,
Yeah.
otherwise you're not paying attention. At
Yeah.
40 BPM,
You're not paying
you're
attention.
not paying attention. You just got distracted.
And here's a thing that's a really powerful. And here's another point of entry, which is different, although it's related. So I think I told you about this experience I had once on a retreat where I played for 10 hours. Yeah, and it was led by an African shaman in England.
Okay, yes,
90 men getting buried. And
yes.
asked who drums, and I said I drums. He said, okay, we're going to play because there was a song the whole night. And it was quite an easy rhythm. And after a while, he left. And people kept coming to me and saying, do you need a break? And I was like, no, I'm fine. But at a certain moment, I went to his village. That's, I was like, what? I was playing and I was just seeing his village
Wow.
for hours. And I played 10 hours. And anyway, the next day it was an incredible ritual. Men were
It
going,
was the Malidoma guy. Is that
yeah,
right?
Malidoma Shumi. Summit. And then the next day, at the debrief, I put my hand up and I said, Maladoma, I know this may sound very strange, but there was a point last night where I was in your village. And I'll never forget his words. He said, oh, I know. I saw exactly where you were. That's why I left. I didn't need to sit with you anymore.
Mm-mm.
Now, ever since then to this day, and that
Mm,
was 25 years ago,
mm.
I don't play the djembe a lot, but when I do now, the moment I start playing, something cracks open.
Okay, okay, okay.
I want you to tell me how you understand that. The other thing, have your comment on, is my teacher, Adama, who was, a real master. And he used to say to me, the real power of the djembe in the end is how fast you can play it.
Wow. Okay.
These sounds, because there are two main sounds.
Yeah.
Mix them as fast as you can. Now, however, to do that properly, you have to be totally slow inside.
Yeah.
Which goes back to this very ancient teaching for anything, that to go really, it's like footballers in the zone.
Yeah. They make it
once
slow. They make time slow down.
Yeah. I
Best player.
remember once hearing a commentator, Messi had just done an unbelievable
Yes.
run. And the commentator said, the thing about him is, however fast he's going, he's totally clear.
Easy, clear.
So there's this combination. So tell me your thoughts about, first of all, this, that I was in his village, and then this thing about speed and slowness. Tell me.
Yeah, I think for me, that was absolutely clear of that you totally embodied, your nervous system totally has embodied and received the experience.
Actually, you know what comes to me now is it was an initiation.
There you go. So in the act, that action that generates the sound, you transform the space.
Yeah.
And the place where that happened for you with great intensity was in Côte d'Ivoire.
Mm-hmm.
Not just Côte d'Ivoire, but in the space that we know as Africa.
Right.
So your body, your nervous system was entirely switched back on.
Yes.
So of course you could see the village.
Wow, what a beautiful way of.
Of course you could see the village.
Yeah.
That drum and what it represents sonically and as an action and as intent and as an intention is totally rooted in that space that you were for 6 months and that ritual master.
Mm. Beautiful.
And that's why when you came back to the West,
Yes.
that feeling of, oh my goodness me, what the
How
hell?
does that fit? Well, how does that fit?
It was a sense of where's my ground?
Yeah, exactly. And who am I?
Yeah. Because actually, what you brought from West Africa was a completely different point of view.
Yeah, a different
Now, when
reality.
you got back to the
Actually,
West,
a different
you
reality.
needed to recalibrate, or maybe not recalibrate, but then experience the West in a different way.
Yeah. Which,
And
of course,
therefore,
happened. Yeah.
which happened, and then therefore find your own version
Exactly.
of
Exactly. Which has been
which has been
your journey as well.
been
And
your
it's
work
your
as
work.
well,
Yeah.
Nicholas. That's been your work.
Exactly.
For the 30 years that I've known you, that's been your work. That you've cultivated that consistently like a drummer.
Yeah.
But you've done it without the drum. But you've been given that example. And in 30 years, you have created this space of inquiry.
And coming home. Directly.
Completely.
Emotionally, physically.
Yes.
Because it's the only way.
Exactly. And in doing so, it's enabled you to look at yourself.
Yeah.
And feel yourself in relation to this. That's why I was saying this Western space.
Yeah. And like you, it's developing all the time.
Exactly.
I say to people, I'm learning more than at any other time in my life, and I'm not reading a single book. So yeah,
but that's true learning.
True learning. Yeah.
Because at each point in the new learning, there's a paradigm shift going on in you.
Yes.
And you've changed. So
exactly.
You've changed, Nicholas. You can't.
The whole perceptual field has changed.
Opened.
Yeah. It's fascinating.
Yeah.
So let's just talk for a moment about this thing of speed, because I remember when you were here for my birthday, and there were a few people here. You know, I have a great sound system, and I put on a Zawinul track.
Yes, I remember. Yeah.
And no, I knew no one else was understanding it the way we were. Because for a lot of people, it's like, oh no, this is
No.
much. And we were like,
We,
oh no.
we were in it.
We were like,
We were in it.
yeah, because of this speed and precision, mastery.
Mastery. And then the communication between them within that space.
They're in that pocket.
We knew.
Yeah.
And so we were listening to the conversation.
Yes. Yes. Yes.
Whereas for other people, it was noise.
It was noise. Yeah.
It was noise. They couldn't understand it.
And too much noise.
And too much. Whereas we needed more. Yeah. I needed more. So there's not enough. We need more.
You know that when I first heard my teacher Adama, he'd come to Geneva, and someone said to me that, you know, they knew I could play a little bit. Someone said, you have to go and see this guy. It's his first time out of Africa. So I went. It was in Geneva, and he did a solo djembe concert. And what I remember vividly is that he started a certain pace, and he gradually got faster. But he did jumps in speed. And each time he did a jump, he screamed. And I remember having the visual image. It was like he was going up a ladder. Yeah. But by the end of that evening, I was sitting there and every cell in my body was open. Yeah. And that's what made me find his address, write to him and say, I need to come and study with you. And he never had a white person. That's the power of sound.
Yeah, that's the power of sound. Exactly. It transcends the boundaries and categories.
Right.
That we set up for ourselves.
Exactly.
But I understand that structurally we need it. Where we don't. And then it becomes freeing.
Yeah. Yeah.
And that's the beauty of music.
Yes.
It's liberating, but it takes time and discipline to truly experience that sense of liberation.
Yeah. Yeah.
It's a gift that, like, there's a beautiful poem in Ifa in Yoruba that Ifan lan lan la la fi gba fan lan la ogun lan lan la la fi ogun lan la. For every great gift you receive, return a greater gift.
Beautiful. Beautiful. Wow.
So for me, I always say to people, that gift that I now realize I received from my grandmother's line, my grandmother's lineage, my father's mother's lineage, they are keepers of ancestral knowledge. They're Egungun people. So what I'm obviously trying to do is I'm returning the gift.
Yeah. And amplifying it.
I'm trying to amplify
because of who you are and your experience.
My experience, thank you. Because that's it.
That's it.
That's it. And I'm amplifying. And then others are going, oh, damn, what's that, Sola?
Yeah. Right.
Okay, it's this.
Right.
So the others can find their own mode of amplifying,
yes,
seeking their own gifts. That actually, I have something like that in my family that has maybe been suppressed, or like you said, our voices were kept. Okay, explore it. Go and find it.
Good.
And see how it activates you. You know? That's the power of the sound. And then if we open that up to the world, it connects all of us.
Right.
Every single person can appreciate it. Doesn't matter where they're from, what their religion are, what race they are, what gender they are. All of us can engage it.
Right.
And then we connect. Then that's what connects, of course. And I love, there's a lovely thing in the Bible where, I can't remember the line fully, where they say, that where two people are and about to create, there ye shall find me.
Yes, exactly.
I mean, that's it. And you multiply that, then what? That's incredible. An
Yeah.
incredible force and
Yeah.
power for change and healing and possibilities.
Yeah.
It's actually really, really, really important and really, really powerful and very serious.
And more needed than
And
ever.
even more so
More
now
needed
than ever.
than ever.
Everybody.
Yeah.
The whole planet is in a state of,
Lost,
what
truly.
is this?
Yeah.
And then again, where's the leadership?
Mm. Well, that's the
Where's
domain
the
I
leadership?
work in. Yeah.
Hold on, people. This can't move like this. Where
Yeah.
are they? There's so many vested interests and interests that don't serve the wider,
Mm.
it doesn't serve the planet. It doesn't serve
Because
the relationship.
those interests are coming from people who are very, very far from home.
Mm,
That's the simple truth.
mm, mm.
And so they're living from such an inner scarcity. And
Scares.
when you're living from a real inner
Yeah,
scarcity,
yeah.
you
Wow.
you you want to consume the whole world,
Yeah.
and it will never fill that
Will
scarcity.
never feel.
Never.
Never feel that abyss. Absolutely. Absolutely.
Yeah.
Wow. 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 Wow.
And as we've seen, I know we've shared many very emotional times as
Yes.
well. Like when we turn towards pain, we turn towards our tears and we include it all.
Mm.
That's the only way home as well, on that level.
Yes. Yeah. Absolutely.
Shola, thank you. This has been, wow, a
No,
joy.
no, absolute pleasure, Nicholas. Not only to just see you, but
Thank you.
yeah,
Yeah,
keep ourselves in that present, continuous state of inquiry
exactly.
through our media.
Exactly. Exactly.